We're going to go to Google SketchuP. So, you know, when you first launch the software, it's going to ask you what template you want to use. And of course, to reiterate, we're going to be using the architectural inches template right here. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to left click on that. Okay, and this brings us to this screen here. All right, this is a scale person. Here we can actually, if I left clicked on the scale person and then I right click, I can actually erase or hide that person. So that's your choice. So I'm just going to hide. Okay, good. All righty. So these are icons here, and you should have had time to kind of like review these and kind of play with them to get a basic understanding of them. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to go over that. Okay, you can do that at your leisure if you have not already done so. Now, I do want to show you that if you go to view here, left click on view, and then you go to toolbars. Okay, right now, the getting started toolbar is active, which is this one right here. Okay, this is your getting started toolbar. However, if you want to have a listing of the more comprehensive toolbars, you can check here, large tool set right here. Check that. So now we have a more comprehensive selection here, okay, by selecting the large tool set. Some of the same icons that are here are also here, but there are more of them. All right, so now we can close out of that. Okay. So now we're about to model the residence, okay? And to do that, we're going to start here. Now, what I'm about to tell you is also in the instructions for the 3D model. All right, so just make sure you read those instructions, and I'll make sure that you know where they are. But how are we going to get started? We're going to go to camera. Then we're going to hover over standard views, and we're going to choose top view. All right. So now this is just like looking at the floor plan, right? Top view, top view. All right. So you know the major issue with Google SketchuP is keeping all the lines on the axis, okay? Because when the lines are created on axis, they become coplanar and they create surfaces, right? And then surfaces are needed to use the push-pull tool, all right? So we're going to start with the rectangle tool right here. Good. And we're going to start at the origin point right here. So everybody should start their floor plan from the same point, origin point right here. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to left click on that. And then I'm going to move my cursor. Now, as I'm moving my cursor, you can look down there to your lower right and you see the dimensions box, right? So as I'm creating that, moving my cursor, it's giving me the dimensions of the box, rectangle that is. So right now, my dimension is approximately 11 feet by 8 feet, okay? Now, the residence is 34 feet by 16 feet. So I'm gonna leave my cursor where it is, and then I'm gonna type in 34 feet, okay, apostrophe, see it there, okay, comma, 16 feet. All right, I'm going to enter that. Okay, and then I'm going to do zoom extent. Let me skip out of this by come over here and selecting it. Okay, and then I'm going to press my mouse button down. Oops, I don't want to pan. So I'm going to go back to top here. Good, and I'm just going to double click my mouse button up and down. That center mouse button, that rolling mouse button, if you have one, you can press it up and down, and it will give you what I call zoom extents. It's the same command that's in AutoCAD, zoom extents. So that brought my rectangle into view so I could see all of it. Okay, let me see what this is. Good. So now that I have my rectangle, and then this is the surface as well as it's a surface, okay, because all of my lines are on axis. Okay, you got to make sure all my lines are on axis and they're coplanar to each other, and that has created a surface. So now I want to offset this by 6 inches, which is the thickness of the exterior walls. So I'm going to go to the offset command right here. Okay, I'll left click on that. Good. Bring my cursor in, and I'm going to click once, and then I'm going to move my cursor outward like this. Okay, and then I'm going to stop. Okay, and then I'm going to key in 6 inches. Aha, so now I have the thickness of my exterior walls. Okay. All right, so now I want to create the interior walls. So now I want to go back to the existing floor plan. Good. So now you can see the existing floor plan here. All right. And I'm going to start with the living room, okay? Now, the living room measures to be 10 feet 9 inches by 15 feet. See that? Okay. And of course, the first dimension is always the width. So from corner to corner here, interior corner, is 10 feet 9 inches. And then from here to here is 15 feet. So what I want to do, I want to create this wall right here, right? This first wall, which is, because it is internal, that is, it's actually 4 inches in thickness, all right? So let's go back to Google SketchuP, see how we're going to do that. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at a dimension of 10 feet 9 inches, all right? Good. Okay, so here we're back at Google SketchuP. Now, what's going to help us do this? There are several ways of creating walls, okay? But I like this way, okay? So what's going to help us is the measuring tool right here, measuring tool, okay? So I'm going to select the measuring tool, which is going to allow me to measure a distance and create a point as well, okay? So select the measuring tool. I'm going to come over here to this corner right here, inside corner, okay? And then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to move my cursor in this direction, and I'm going to type in 10 feet 9, okay? So you see it there at the in the dimension box, okay? And then I'm going to enter that, okay? Now what that did for me, that created a reference point right here, or a guide point, as they call it, okay? Good. So now I'm going to go to the line tool, and I'm going to draw a line from here, right? Keeping it on axis, right? Keeping it on axis, on axis. That's not on axis. This is on axis, okay? keeping it on axis. There we go, all right? So now this is the inside face of the wall, but that wall is 4 inches in thickness. So I'm gonna go back to my measuring tool. And I'm gonna put a point there, move my cursor in this direction. Now I'm gonna type in 4 inches, which is the thickness of the interior wall. Enter that. I got another reference point. So now I can go back to line tool. Zoom in so a little bit more so I can see the line tool. There we go. Zoom out now. Okay, by rolling in and out. Okay, all right. So on axis, there it is on axis. Good. So now I've created the thickness of the interior wall. So I can go back to my measuring tool and make sure my dimensions are accurate. So from here to here should be 10'9", and it is. Okay. Then from here to here should be 15 feet, and it is. Okay. So that's accurate. Notice I know I have a door opening here, but I'm not showing that the opening in plan. We're going to do that when we go to the isometric view, okay? But right now, do not show any door or window openings at this point. Do not in plan. Do not show any door openings. Do not show any window openings. All right. All right. So now let's go back. Let's go back to. Let me stop sharing here. Okay, and let's go back to. Let's go back to my board. Okay. Good. So now we just created the dimension for the living area. So where do we want to go next? Let's go. Okay. Let's create bedroom number 2 right here. Bedroom number 2. Okay. So we see that the width of bedroom number 2 is 8 feet 10 inches by 8 feet, that is 8 inches. And we know the first dimension is always the width. All right, so now 8 feet 10 is what I need to be dealing with. 8 feet 10 by 8 feet 8 inches. Okay. All right, so let's go back to Google SketchuP. All right. So 8 foot 10 is my first dimension. Okay. So I'm going to go to my measuring tool. It's already active. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see it better. Rolling in. Okay. Good. Start here. Okay. Keep it on axis. What I need, 8 feet, apostrophe, just like that, 10 inches. Okay, see that? Good. Into that. Good. That gave me a reference point. Right now, I'm just going to draw a line. I'm going to draw a line all the way through. We know it doesn't go all the way through, but I'm just going to draw it all the way through right now and go back and change that later. Okay. All right. Good. Now, again, this is a 4-inch wall. So I'll go back to my measuring tool. Okay. Move my cursor in this direction. Okay, type in 4 inches. Got another reference point. Go back to my line tool. Okay. Zoom in so I can get that point. There it is. Okay. Give me the on not on axis. On axis. There it is. On axis. Good. So notice I just took it all the way through. I'm going to go back later and I'm going to delete this portion. But right now, I'm just trying to get the basic layout done. And I can go back later on and manipulate it. Okay. So you see, that's how you're going to create these interior walls, okay? Okay. Again, do not show any door openings. Do not show any window openings, all right? Okay, so that should help you get started.